Hey everybody. Well, today, I had made this video. I don't know when it'll go up, but I made this video because I see so much going on in the spiritual community concerning godparents. My godfather made a very good um video, two videos, a couple videos on lineage, tradition, and different things like that. He gave me this cigar, and I think it's very fitting that I talk about godparents. Your godparent is a very important part of your life. I don't know about everybody else's tradition, but I know in my traditions that if something happens to me, there's things that my godfather has to do for me to make sure that I'm okay. Now, my question to you is, do you know that? Before you go picking a godparent, you need to understand that that godparent needs to be competent in what they're doing, so that not just while you're here, your spiritual journey is you're on it, right? But when you pass on, okay? When you go choosing a godparent, if you got a problem with women, maybe you don't need to get a female godmother. If you have a problem with men, maybe you don't need to have a male godparent. Because you can't act shady towards your godparents. Because a good godparent sometimes takes hits for his god kids, his or her god kids. Sometimes, the spirit might feel like you need a spanking. And maybe that spirit will go to the godfather or godmother first and be like, well, so-and-so didn't do so-and-so, and I'm about to take something out on their ass. And that godparent, depending on how much they love you, how much they care about you, take the hit for you. You don't even know it. You don't do what you're supposed to do, and your godparent can feel it. Good godparents. You need to take your time before finding and deciding to go with a godparent. Take your time, but don't waste their time neither. Because a spiritual journey is about progression. It's not about standing still and you just don't become initiated. Like my godfather said, that's just the first step. The initiation is just the first step. When you have a godparent, you're supposed to ask your godparent questions about certain things until you get to a certain level where you're doing the exchange of information, not you asking a question and then because people have their little egos and stuff. Excuse me. People have their little egos and then they're looking at you like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. What kind of spiritual worker are you? Or what kind of mambo are you? Or what kind of hungan are you? This is the stuff that goes on. And then that reflects on your godparents. So if you have questions about certain things, don't ask them in a public forum. Because I'm telling you now, people, it's not all love and light sometimes in some of these things. People have their own missions on certain subjects. So your godparent is a very integral part in your life. If you're going to go get a surgery, you need to contact your godparent. You're like, why do I need to contact my godparent? Because maybe you have certain spirits that need to be taken care of before you get on that darn operating table, so you don't wake your butt up or somebody come forward. These are things you need to ask your godparent. Book their time. Ask for their help. Their time is important. If they have children, if you say you love your godparent and you care about your godparent, what do you know about your godparent? What do you know about your godparent? They have lives too. And people say, oh, well, information should be free. Should it? What that godparent or godmother or whatever decide to give to you, that's nice. But there has to be an exchange of energy. And I get tired of seeing people, oh, yeah, I shouldn't have to pay for this and I shouldn't have to pay for that. And that's your gift. And, and it was given to you for free. Okay, so I was born here with the gift, or that person was born here with the gift, but that doesn't mean that they didn't have to pay to learn in one way or another, sweetie. Before you decide to go buy a house, you need to check with your godparent. Where you're going in that house, you don't know unless you're that advanced. And even then, you need to contact your godparent before you go invest your money and get into something. And now you got a whole bunch of stuff walking around in your house with you. And don't be telling me about no darn sage. Contact your darn godparent. If you're getting ready, if you've decided you're going to leave your godparents' house and go someplace else, you need to end that in a cordial manner. Why? Because you don't need to, because a lot of people like to start house wars because they leave one godparent, then they go to the other godparent, and a lot of people are not doing their spiritual work. So they feed into the nonsense that this new person that's come to the house is doing. I call them house groupies because they jump from one place to another trying to get something and they don't want to work for it. Realize where you were before and where you are at now, due to your godparent helping you in your spiritual progression. And once you get your spiritual progression going properly, you'll start to see the things in your mundane life start to come to fruition as well in a positive manner. But if you're not, you can't blame your godparent because they can't force it down your throat. Before you go, if you have a godparent, stay off of these darn forums, some of y'all. If you have a godparent and you're new into the tradition, you don't need to see this and that and that and this because you're going to get confused. And the way your lineage does something might be different than the lineage you're listening to. Or contact your godparent and say, you know what? Can I, is this okay? Is this cool? Ask questions. But don't start taking in a whole bunch of information and then you're all over the place and now you're confused. This is serious. If someone is helping you, you're a spiritual worker, okay, mentor, whoever, don't go all these different places trying to find more info for what? To get confused? And then the work that's being done for you or what your godparent is doing for you, now you start to doubt and throw doubt into what your godparent is doing for you because they're not doing it the way you saw somebody on YouTube doing it or the way you heard somebody in a forum doing it. Forums are good and forums are dangerous. If you're new, lineage is very important. A lot of y'all, oh, I don't want to commit. I don't want to commit to a godparent. Let me tell you something, sweetie. A lot of y'all be ready to commit to some little raggedy behind woman or some little raggedy behind man, but y'all got a problem giving some type of commitment to a godparent. And it's not a commitment, it's an even exchange. It's being able to work with the spirit in a proper manner so you're not hurting your spouse, so you're not hurting your your children, your pets, because everything don't just gonna affect you. It can affect those around you. So once again, it's important to have respect for your godparents. Because I'm gonna go back to this again. Some traditions, some things have to be done for you if you die, when you die. Now, my question is, are you in good graces with your godparent? Does your godparent know what to do? Because there's a lot of people around just all of a sudden collecting god kids, and they just became an initiate themselves. They just got into the religion themselves, no matter what ATR it is. So they don't have the knowledge nor the wisdom a lot of times to be able to have god kids, and it's not for everyone to have godchildren. But that seems to be a trend lately. Godparents are very important in your life. Because I'm going to tell you, if I knew what I knew now, my first mentor, Miss Gail, but she was in a road, and that's going to be a different video. She was in a part in her journey where she really wasn't doing a lot anymore. But I would have asked her to give me information on some of these old raggedy behind men I had dealt with. Is this the right move? But then again, some godparents, they don't want to step in because you know why? Because then you want to blame them. But please let me know. You know, it's sad. But godparents don't get the respect that they used to. Godparents lift up their god kids out of the dirt, out of the mud. They lift them up. People that come to them and become their god kids, and the godparents that know what they're doing, they lift them up out of situations, and then the god kid be like, fuck you, bye. Because maybe one day they don't get what they want. That is not how this works. There are attachments. And then when the godparent decide to spiritually detach themselves and everything starts coming down haywire, people wonder why. You just can't treat your godparent any kind of way. I've never done that. The one time I told y'all is, if you go back in my videos, you'll find the story where I told y'all the one time I didn't listen to my godparent, my mentor, Miss Gail, I suffered, and I suffered for years. But like I said, your godparents, good godparents, they take hits for you sometime. When you're feeling stuff, sometimes they're feeling stuff for you. And they might not tell you about it. They might not say anything. This is serious. This isn't, oh, you come to a bembe or a gathering or whatever it is. and you do your little greetings or whatever it is, and then that's it, and you think that that's it. No, there are a lot of things that go on that I'm quite sure a lot of good godparents out there have stopped. I love my godparent and my godparents before the current godparent I have. Okay. At one time, because see, people understood the spiritual world back in the day a little more. They understood the respect that should have been given to a godparent. Now, do some godparents take advantage? Yes, they do. That's when you use your own wisdom and you talk to your guardian angel or your spirit, whatever, and you ask once again for a godparent that is knowledgeable, that has wisdom, that has your best interest at heart, and will guide you on the right path that is meant for you. And that concludes this. So y'all have a good day. Bye.